referred to two separate illegal accounts.
There is no doubt money was lost. We are dealing with the question of who is responsible for that loss.
The committee, chaired by Busiro East Member of Parliament, Medhat Segona, noted that the two institutions had failed to provide substantial documentation or summon any responsible individuals for questioning. The committee has started narrowing its investigation into the incident, focusing on specific officers within the Ministry of Finance and Bank of Uganda. Both institutions presented employees from the IT departments, deputies and accountant generals for further investigation.
Who gave you instructions?
An accountant general's office.
Who in particular?
Mr. Chair, I need to check who.
No?
Who did?
IT, do you know? Who? From your findings?
Well, Chair, I thank you, because I think by drawing a distinction between the two institutions and how they operate, you actually get to the bottom of the issue. The processes that happened in the Ministry of Finance, I think, have been explained, but the bank is not part of those processes.
The first entity to present its case was the Ministry of Finance Accountant General, Lawrence Semakula, admitted that funds had been sent to non-registered beneficiaries and confirmed that investigations were ongoing. However, Semakula emphasized that this type of incident was unprecedented and that the ministry was keen to avoid rushing the investigation to prevent complications. He also referred the ongoing forensic report as a critical element in resolving the case.
Report?
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
Yes or no?
This forensic audit should be able to tell us what actually happened and where it happened. Okay? So, I guess once that information comes, then we should be able to pinpoint and say this is what happened.
The committee expressed concern that either the Ministry of Finance nor the Bank of Uganda had summoned the responsible individuals for questioning 3 months into the saga. Some committee members accused the entities of delays in the investigation, raising suspicions that it would have been an inside job.
Know the specific person, because these are people you deal with on a daily.
Requests for payments from the Ministry of Finance are not submitted in hard copy. They're submitted electronically.
We did not issue any instruction to pay those two companies.
Simple.
And I repeated that even now, if you go on our database in the system that we have, we do not have those as government suppliers. To be able to be paid on a government system, you must be registered on a government system.
Some MPs pointed out discrepancies in the information provided and questioned why the entities had not yet identified who in the payment section authorized the payments to the non-registered beneficiaries.
Because now these people are here being massaged. Have you, for example, committed people or interdicted those officers as forensic is going on? But you are just here being massaged. No. No.
They need to, I wouldn't use the word style up because they already styled up. But please, you show commitment that you are doing something. Because now at the end of the day, you are saying we are now waiting for a forensic audit, which may even take 2 years.
The committee also recognized that both the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Uganda appear to have no clear understanding of who was responsible for the payments to the unauthorized beneficiaries.
Relatedly, the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, COSASE, grilled top Bank of Uganda officials over a loss of taxpayers' money of over 60 billion Ugandan shillings. The officials appeared before the committee to answer queries in the Auditor General's Report 2023-2024.
The Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, Dr. Michael Atingi Ego, led Bank of Uganda officials before the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises to answer queries in the Auditor General's Report 2023-2024. The committee chairperson, Medard Lubega Segona, asked the Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, that taxpayers' money was lost from the bank, and the committee wanted to know how it was allocated. The Deputy Governor, Dr. Michael Atingi Ego, first declined to give information since it was under investigation by the Auditor General.
And the Auditor General is also undertaking independent investigations. And my response to you is not and should not in any way interfere with their investigations.
Feel that whatever you want to tell us as a wind-up, sir, that is a little bit privileged and so sensitive, you can seek for leave and it is done in camera. Otherwise, you will not just go unscratched without us handling this.
Consider a right for the Deputy Governor to hide under the cover of other investigation, well knowing that he was also invited for an investigation by a committee with the powers of the High Court to answer the same questions.
This is where you went wrong. Defensively saying, I will not mention things that will jeopardize with investigations. That one I will not. First, you were making a ruling on what you can say or cannot say.
He said the money was meant for debt service payment in World Bank, $6.134 million and was fraudulently paid to Roadway Company Limited.
And then the payment of $8.596 million that was meant for the African Development Fund was instead paid to MJS International, London. But we got instructions from the minister to pay this.
You got instructions from?
From the minister to pay $6.134 million.
To Roadway?
Yeah, to Roadway.
Okay. Instruction, Ministry of Finance is an abstract thing. From who?
I think it was from the Office of the Accountant General, if I recall well.
The chairperson Kosase, Medard Lubega Segona, told the committee to bring to the committee documents including the minutes they had with the PSST, Ministry of Finance.
So before I move very fast to get hard on Bank of Uganda, I want to look at the client's instructions. I also want to know the nature of operations of Bank of Uganda.
The Deputy Governor explained to the committee the efforts taken by the bank to recover the money.
Based on that,
Based
on that, we agreed that we would then have a forensic audit by an independent firm. And Bank of Uganda was asked to contract that firm. So our attempts to contact the bank in Japan were not successful because the bank in Japan said, look, the beneficiaries of this payment have given us information that supports the payment, despite the fact that we told them that this is a fraudulent transaction.
And in the chronology of these known payments, because the governor knows that these were payments made for this, who were the key players, officers of the bank, who were involved, because these are public officers, who are involved in this transaction.
Uncomfortable seeing you, the tortfeasors, the people in charge of this chaos.
No.
Who are close to the issue, really handling the investigation. Then the other.
The Deputy Governor's comment that in generating payment in two transactions there was no human involvement attracted debate.
So that's how the process was. It is all automated in what they call straight-through processing. There's no human involvement in there.
What is not correct is that there is no human intervention. There must be human intervention at the end of the day. Because you see, let me tell you, you will never explain and convince me that I should arrest the computer in Bank of Uganda.
The committee also asked the Deputy Governor, who he has been deputizing for the last 3 years, since there has not been a governor appointed and yet his term is also expiring in April 2025. I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Gwetabinji at Parliament.
Away from that, the Central Corridor has marked yet another remarkable year of serving the community. As the curtain closes on 2024, we reflect on some of the key milestones achieved this year.
The Central Corridor has marked yet another remarkable year of serving the community. As the curtain closes on 2024, we reflect on some of the key milestones achieved this year. The year began on a high note with the approval of $696 million in funding from the African Development Bank for Burundi and Tanzania. This funding supports the construction of 650-kilometer standard gauge railway along the Central Corridor network as part of Phase 2 of the joint Tanzania-Burundi-DR Congo railway project. Another major milestone in the region was the inauguration of the modernized port of Kalundu in eastern DRC, the second largest port in the vast country. The upgraded port is set to enhance the regional trade and connectivity linking the Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi to Tanzania's port of Dar es Salaam. In June this year, the Central Corridor Interstate Council of Ministers held its 13th ordinary meeting in Lubumbashi, DRC. The meeting, which took place on 7th June, was attended by transport ministers from all the member states, the governor of Haut-Katanga province, ambassadors, development partners, and other distinguished guests. During this session, the DRC Minister of Transport assumed the chairmanship of the Central Corridor Interstate Council of Ministers, succeeding the Transport Minister for Burundi. October 4th in Kilosa, Morogoro, the corridor witnessed the launch of the rail cold chain. Launched by Tanzania's Transport Deputy Minister, Honorable Kinzile, the initiative jointly prepared by Tanzania Railway Corporation, World Food Program Tanzania, and the Central Corridor Transit Transport Facilitation Agency is part of a strategy geared at strengthening rail transport along the Central Corridor. The CCTTFA was represented by the Executive Secretary, Advocate Florio Kanjo Konge, during the launch.
Mchango wetu iliweza kusaidia TRC, iliweza kusaidia pia WFP na wizara yetu ya uchukuzi kuweza kufanya hii upembuzi yakinifu tuliweza kufanya. Sisi kama ushoroba wakati ni taasisi ya nchi 7 ambaye ni serikali ya Burundi, ya Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, DRC, Malawi na Zambia. Tunahusika na mambo ya usafirishaji wa mizigo kutoka bandari yetu ya Dar es Salaam na kwenda kwa hii nchi yenyewe haina access ku bandari.
One of the major milestones of 2024 was Zambia's accession as the 7th member state of the Central Corridor. This significant development was marked by the signing of the CCTTFA agreement on October 8th, 2024 in Kinshasa during the ministerial meeting.
Les raccords pour que la Zambie puisse accéder. Maintenant, il était juste question au niveau de l'agenda que la Zambie puisse soumettre au président, son Excellence, Monsieur le Vice-Premier ministre, les instruments de ratification du gouvernement de la Zambie. Après la soumission des instruments de la ratification, il fallait que le président, Excellence, Monsieur le Vice-Premier ministre Jean-Pierre Bemba, vérifie l'authenticité. Et après vérification, il a donc autorisé son homologue de la Zambie de signer l'accord du corridor central qui marque aujourd'hui donc l'adhésion officielle de la République de Zambie comme 7e pays membre du corridor central.
Zambia joined Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Malawi, Rwanda, Uganda, and Tanzania as part of this strategic regional bloc.
Market-related challenges under the recently enacted Market Act 2023. In the Act, measures have been outlined to maintain trade order and ensure fair workspace allocation to curb illegal activities that have been cited in the markets.
In a bid to increase market spaces and regulate trading order in Kampala, President Museveni ordered the transfer of 17 markets in the city to KCCA for administration. However, despite this, KCCA continues to face challenges in organizing public markets and maintaining trade order in the city.
What is clear is that there is something called the Markets Act. This is the Markets Act. It was passed in 2023. In this Markets Act, the administration of all public markets and the registration of even private markets is under the administration of Kampala Capital City Authority, in the case of Kampala.
The Market Act 2023 has become a crucial tool in addressing long-standing issues, but its implementation has encountered obstacles.
This act mentions that wherever you see the word authority, it means the office of the executive director, meaning that all issues to do with administration of markets should be run by the executive director if we are to follow this law. And we have to follow this law because it's the law of Uganda, and we are in Uganda.
Space remains a pressing concern across the city's 17 public markets, with many vendors still lacking adequate stores. There have also been reports of illegal allocation of workspaces, raising alarms particularly in the case of Busega Market.
So in line with that, we have agreed with the various stakeholders that KCCA needs to find a way of making sure that the allocation of workspaces in the Busega Market is in accordance with the law.
It is against this backdrop that the acting executive director of KCCA, Frank Rusanyakana, has warned those responsible for illegal activities, stating that the law will hold them accountable.
We have seen incidents of people forcefully entering and occupying market facilities. This cannot be accepted, and this will not be tolerated. We shall use the police and all law enforcement agencies to ensure that public markets that were made for poor people are not forcefully taken by people who are never targeted to be beneficiaries of these markets.
KCCA has vowed to enforce the Market Act 2023 to the letter. Vendors and traders are urged to comply as the authority continues to address the underlying challenges in Kampala's markets. Justine Nakami, Faith Cayenne.
As the festive season hits the climax, city dwellers are in a rush to travel up country. However, some travelers who spoke to BRU complained about the hike in fares, deeming it unfair. However, the bus companies defended the hike, saying their buses are returning back to the city with few passengers.
Put into account the fact that my bus is going to Fort Portal when it is full to capacity, but returning without anybody. Does the fuel price, for example, reduce as we are coming back? So maybe the regulations could be there, but we cannot handle this unless we put the price a little higher to be able to bring the buses. So you can see we only have 2 buses at the moment. So what if we decided to keep a bus on stage for 2-3 hours in Fort Portal, waiting for it to fill up, then it comes here? Will be, filled to capacity. We cannot handle the numbers. So we have to find a way that helps us to serve our people better. You might have seen people on social media saying when you go to Link, you have to wait for long hours. I mean, they beat us that way, but these are the dynamics. What do we do to manage?
Transport fee, they have increased it because of the what? Of the distance. Yes, but before it wasn't much as they have put at this time. Because before those time back we could go like 40, 45, but at the moment they put it to 50. So by the time you approach Christmas season, it's going to be even more than 50,000. It depends on what destination where you're going. Yes? You get my point? Yeah.
Like the number of people there are many, but there's a way we can manage to check them. Like everyone, like we are many, even as security, we are many. We can separate other people to check vehicles, other people to check bags like that. Even those boxes, we do checking, even vehicles. Even buses, when people are entering, like moving, like the time for traveling, we check everything. That's why the way we do.
You come and buy, we sell at a cheaper price. You come here, join us, we shall all sell at affordable price.
How is the turn-up and what exactly are you selling?
We all sell the child, boys, girls, and child clothes. You come and buy at a cheaper price.
Kabale town is known of its chilly weather, its beautiful scenery and fertile soils. In our Sounds of Business tonight, we give you a sneak peek of the Kabale town's day and night economy. Enjoy. As the festive season is fast approaching, it should be very important for us to be very mindful about our movements. And in the same spirit, for those plying the northern route, you got to realize that the government has fully opened the Karoma Bridge. So we should be very mindful because it's a season of love, a season of celebration, but in the same spirit, let's be safe and drive safely. From BRU and the entire production, Kwaheri.